An investigation is now underway after Miami police say someone opened fire on one of their officers during a traffic stop, and 4 people have been taken into custody. CBS 4's Gabby Fleischman is live where it all started at 43rd and Southwest 5th Terrace. And Gabby, you got some surveillance video you saw?
That's right, Elliot. A neighbor just shared that video with me, and in it, you actually see the suspect's car being pulled over by the officer right by where that red SUV is there. Police telling us there were 4 people in the car when somebody got out and started shooting at the officer. Several bullets hit that patrol car. One even grazed a neighbor's car. You can see it right here. The cops telling us, fortunately, no one was injured. Surveillance cameras are rolling the moment police say one of their officers got shot at during a traffic stop.
It was like bang, 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 bang. It was very fast. It sounded like rapid fire.
It's just after 4 o'clock Friday morning. On the right, you can see the brake lights of a car that was just pulled over at Southwest 5th Terrace and 43rd Avenue. A Miami patrol car pulls up behind it. Before the officer even comes to a complete stop, detectives say someone got out of the car and started shooting.
One of the subjects exits the vehicle and shoots at our officer several times. We don't know why this violent action, but you know, it's something that has us very worried.
It appears the driver opened the door, stepped out, and fired towards the officer, who backed up his unit and then chases the car as it speeds off. Cops later caught up with the car on Lejeune Road and Northwest 9th Street. They say 4 people were inside. They were all taken into custody.
Here at the big board and in other news, family, friends, and colleagues are mourning the death of this Virginia police officer. She was killed just 1 day after being sworn in. And we've just learned that the suspect is an Army staff sergeant assigned to the Pentagon. More than 100 patrol cars lined the roads outside a Northern Virginia hospital early this morning to pay tribute to Officer Ashley Gwindon. She was shot and killed after responding to a call for a domestic dispute last night. 2 other officers were wounded. They are expected to survive. And police say a civilian woman was killed before the officers arrived. The suspect, 32-year-old Ronald Hamilton, is an active duty Army staff sergeant assigned to the Joint Staff Support Center at the Pentagon. He is now in custody and expected in court tomorrow. Gwindon had served as a county police officer a few years ago. She left and had just returned to the force.
What we have to do is end over-policing in African-American neighborhoods. When we talk about a criminal justice system, I would hope that we can all agree that we are sick and tired of seeing videos on television of unarmed people, often African-Americans, shot by police officers.
That there are communities in this country where minority communities and the police department have a terrible relationship. I personally know someone who happens to be a police officer and a young African-American male who told me that he's been pulled over 7, 8 times in the last few years and never gets a ticket. What is he supposed to think? He gets pulled over for no reason, never gets a ticket, no one has any explanation for why he's being pulled over. What is he supposed to think? So I owe everyone else, we have a problem, and we have to address it as a society and as a country, because I do not believe we can fulfill our potential as a nation unless we address that.
There are other racial discrepancies, really systemic racism in this state as in others, in education, in employment, in the kinds of factors that too often lead from a position where young people, particularly young men, are pushed out of school early, are denied employment opportunities. So when we talk about criminal justice reform and ending the era of mass incarceration, we also have to talk about jobs, education, housing, and other ways of helping communities do better.
You have said police are the most mistreated people in America. As president, how do you bridge the divide?
Well, there is a divide, but I have to say that the police are absolutely mistreated and misunderstood. And if there is an incident, whether it's a incident done purposely, which is a horror, and you should really take very strong action, or if it's a mistake, it's on your newscasts all night, all week, all month, and it never ends. The police in this country have done an unbelievable job of keeping law and order. And they're afraid for their jobs. They're afraid of the mistreatment they get. And I'm telling you that not only me speaking, minorities all over the country, they respect the police of this country, and we have to give them more respect. They can't act. They can't act. They're afraid for losing their pension, their job. They don't know what to do. And I deal with them all the time. We have to give great respect, far greater than we are right now, to our really fantastic police.
Great.
2 more cops, targets. Black people with guns. 3 of the people we just saw said it's the cops' fault because there's something they're not doing right. They're not communicating properly. One person we just saw said cops are great people, and what the hell's going on? This is Colin Flaherty, the author of Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Probably something to remember when you're dealing with cops.